You're starving by 2 p.m., snacking constantly, and still not losing weight? Here's the truth no one's telling you. You're not eating enough, and that's exactly why you're stuck. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm a national board certified health coach. I help women break the yo-yo dieting cycle by eating more delicious food and training smarter, not harder. And in this video, I'm going to show you the signs that you're under eating, why your body holds on to fat when you eat too little, and exactly what to do instead so you can finally feel energized, satisfied, and actually see results. If you're tired of being hungry all the time and nothing working, keep watching. So let me ask you this. How long after your meal are you hungry again? If the answer is 2 hours, even 3 hours, or you're reaching for snacks constantly just to get through the afternoon, that's a sign and your body is telling you something huge. Here are the top signs you're under eating. The sign number one is exactly that. If you get hungry 2 to 3 hours after your meal, for example, you eat breakfast at 7 a.m. and then you're starving by 10 a.m., that's not normal. That's your body saying that was not enough food. When you eat the right foods in the right amounts, you should feel satisfied for 5-6 hours between meals. No snacking required and no willpower needed. Sign number two, you need snacks to get through the day. If you can't make it from lunch to dinner without a snack, something is off. Either your meals are imbalanced or you're simply not eating enough at those meals. Sign number three, you get hangry, dizzy, or lightheaded between meals. This is your blood sugar crashing. It happens when you eat too little or when your meals aren't balanced with enough protein, fat, and fiber to keep your blood sugar stable. Sign number four, you're constantly thinking about food. This is called food noise, and it's exhausting. When you're properly nourished, you eat your meal, you're satisfied, and food isn't on your mind until the next meal. Imagine that freedom. It is possible. You feel puffy, bloated, and fluffy even though you're barely eating. This one drives women crazy. You're eating 1,200 calories, doing hours of cardio, and you still feel bloated and stuck. Your clothes feel tighter, and you're thinking, what am I doing wrong? The truth is that nothing is wrong. It's working exactly how it's designed to work with the signs you're giving your body. You're following advice that was never meant to work long term. I know what you might be thinking, but Christiane, doesn't a calorie deficit work? Doesn't your body just use fat for fuel when you eat less? And technically, yes, that can happen. But here's what the diet industry does not tell you. Women, especially in our reproductive years, aggressive calorie cutting triggers a stress response that works against fat loss. Let me explain. When you drastically cut calories, your body perceives it as a threat. And when your body feels threatened, it releases cortisol, your primary stress hormone. And now cortisol isn't evil, it's actually essential for survival. But here's the problem. Chronically elevated cortisol tells your body to store fat, especially around the midsection. This is why you can't be eating 1,200 calories, doing everything right, and still feel puffy and soft, especially around your belly. That's cortisol doing its job, preparing for the crisis it thinks you're in. But it gets worse. Cortisol also breaks down muscle tissue. Your body starts using your muscle for energy because muscle is metabolically expensive. It burns calories just by existing. So when resources are scarce, your body sacrifices muscle to conserve energy and to use it for energy. And here's a cruel irony. The less muscle you have, the fewer calories you burn at rest. So now your metabolism is slower. You go back to eating normally the way you used to eat before, and suddenly you're gaining weight. Why? Because without that muscle, your body has less storage for glucose. And with less muscle, you're burning fewer calories, doing absolutely nothing. You've become metabolically less efficient. It's a losing game. And the more times you do this, restrict, lose muscle, regain fat, the harder it gets each time. This is why so many women feel like they're gaining weight year after year, even though they're eating the same way they've always have. But here's what I want you to know. It's not your age, it's not some inevitable decline. It's a cascade of events that started years ago with that first restrictive diet. And that means you have the power to change it, starting now before it gets harder. High cortisol also disrupts your reproductive hormones, and it can mess with your cycle, increase cravings, disrupt sleep, and make your body hold on to fat as a protective mechanism. Because your body doesn't think it's safe to burn fuel when it's under stress. This is why quick, aggressive dieting backfires so hard for women in their 30s, and it gets worse as time goes by. And so the answer is not to cut more. The answer is slow, steady fat loss that preserves your muscle and keeps cortisol in check. This means eating enough protein to protect your muscle, enough food to signal satiety to your body and your brain, and enough nourishment that your hormones actually function properly. When you do this right, your body will release fat, but it does it on its own timeline, when it feels safe, not when you try to force it through starvation. So what is the solution? It is not eating less, I hope that's clear. It's eating more of the right foods with balanced meals. I call this nourishment over restriction. Instead of starving your body into submission, you feed it what it needs to thrive. And here's what that looks like. Number one priority, protein. Protein is the building block of your entire body, not just your muscles, but your hormones, your enzymes, your immune system, every single thing. When you don't eat enough protein, your body literally cannot function optimally. You lose muscle, your metabolism slows down, your hunger hormones go haywire, you're hungry all the time because your body is searching for the amino acids it needs. Most women need at least 100 grams of protein per day as a bare minimum. That's probably way more than you're eating right now. And ideally, I do help my clients eat more than that. But that's a good enough starting point for most women who are eating around 40 to 50 grams of total protein per day. When you get enough protein, you stay full longer, your muscles recover and grow, your metabolism stays strong, and that constant hunger goes away. If you do want to know exactly how much protein you need and the best sources, I have a whole video breaking it down, so I'm gonna link it here for you. And I will update this info soon, so make sure to stay tuned. Priority number 2, fiber. Fiber keeps you full and keeps your digestion healthy. Most women should aim between 25 to 30 grams per day, prioritizing complex carbs like veggies, root veggies, some fruits, and some people can stomach legumes and some whole grains, but carb intake depends on the activity level and how well you tolerate carbs, which can improve over time with proper guidance. But most people are eating way too many carbs without much fiber. So it's good to focus on fiber-rich veggies that slow down digestion, which keeps your blood sugar stable and prevents those energy crashes that have you reaching for snacks in the middle of the afternoon. Priority number 3, your healthy fats. Fat does not make you fat. Healthy fats are essential for your hormones, especially for women. They help you absorb nutrients, keep your brain sharp, and keep you satisfied between meals, like avocado, olive oil, nuts, seeds, eggs. And so what's the best formula? At every meal, you want protein, fiber, and fat. When you balance your plate this way, something magical happens. You eat, you feel satisfied, and you're not hungry again for 5 or 6 hours. That's the difference between staying full and feeling satiated. Full is when your stomach is kind of stretched. Satiated is when your body has what it needs and the hunger signals are off. They feel different. When you're properly nourished, the food noise disappears. You stop thinking about food between meals. You stop needing willpower to resist snacks. Eating becomes more simple. So let me give you an example. A lot of women come to me eating something like this. For breakfast, a small Greek yogurt or a protein bar, maybe some fruit, and that's like 200, 300 calories and maybe 10 to 15 grams of total protein. No wonder why they're starving by 10 a.m. Compare that to a nourishing breakfast. 3 eggs with some extra protein on the side, a big handful of maybe some spinach and mushrooms, half an avocado, and a side of some sweet potatoes. That's like 35 to 40 grams of protein. Healthy fats, fiber, and real food that your body knows how to use for energy. You eat that at 7 a.m. and you won't be hungry maybe until noon or 1 p.m. No snacks needed, no cravings, no food noise. This is what nourishment looks like. And if you want more examples, I have a whole video on meal prep. I will link that over here for you. Now, figuring out exactly how much you should be eating is personal. It depends on your body, your goals, your activity level, and that's exactly what I help women figure out in my 12-week coaching program. We work together one-on-one every week to dial in your nutrition so you never have to guess again. If you want to start with a free assessment to see where you're at, I have a health score assessment which takes less than 3 minutes. It gives you personalized insights. It's free and the links are in the description. So remember, if you're hungry all the time, snacking constantly, and still not losing weight, you're probably not eating enough. Your body is in survival mode and it's not going to let go of fat until you give it what it needs. Always nourishment over restriction. Protein, fiber, and healthy fats at every meal. That gives you 5 to 6 hours of satiation between meals with zero food noise. You won't only get the body of your dreams, but you will be the healthiest, most radiant version of yourself as well. That's the goal, and that is possible. If you want to go deeper on protein, because it's honestly the game changer, watch this video next. And if you want help figuring out what your body needs, take my free health score assessment. Link is in the description. I'm cheering you on. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.
We're still on board, dancing in the moonlight. The world just stopped and stared.